Live from Arkansas in California. Purpose Agenda with Josh and Tom. We'll have to get some theme music eventually.
Oh, we need to do that.
Rough week, huh? Talk to me. I can relate. I had a rough day. Definitely some chinks in the road over the course of the week. You go first.
I think basically what I was going to say, because I said rough week and for everybody, it's because, man, look at the way of the world, everybody's mindset in America has been for the last week since what happened has happened. I don't want to get political, but man, I don't care what side you're on. It's been a kind of a sad week. So we've all been kind of, pushing it off. It's just there. It's in the background. So I just want to bring it out front.
The assassination?
Yep.
What are you noticing the backlash is?
It's just sad. It's just sad. So it brings it down. It brings the tone down. I'm not going to get in political because that's not what this channel is about, but it's just you can feel it. So when millions of people are feeling a mistake, a loss, a remorse, it's just out there. Same way it can be where if you put it in your brain and your mindset that things are going great, then everybody thinks they are going great. So then therefore they do go great.
Yeah, you're talking about consciousness right now.
Yeah. So I don't care what side you're on or this or that or whatever. Boy, it's just been a sad week.
Yeah, man, it definitely has an impact. It's funny that you brought that up too, because it's kind of like you can feel it sort of in the whole consciousness energy of the nation. Have you ever seen this before? This is a really famous map of consciousness by David Hawkins.
No.
Yeah, it's a guy that wrote Power versus Force and a bunch of other books. He mapped out the levels of consciousness, and the lower the levels are, the lower the vibration is.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm feeling it. I'm struggle busting for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I actually put states of being to these and changed it a bit, because sometimes in one day I'll go from feeling angry to feeling joy, and that's a pretty big jump. But I call it states of being. Like, are you always in a victim mindset? Are you always feeling empty? Like, what's your primary state of being most of the time? And right now it seems like lots of people's energetic log is dropped down a bit. It hasn't affected me much at all, but I do feel it in the overall vibe of people.
Yeah, just in the overall vibe. 100%. That's kind of what I'm getting at. And I think those of us, if we're conscious enough, we can feel it off of not only ourselves, we're feeling it ourselves because we're thriving off of other people. We're feeling it out of everywhere. That's just the vibe, because we're trying to be conscious enough to be aware of consciousness, and so then it's just out there.
Sometimes people aren't even aware of what level their consciousness is at. They just don't feel quite as happy or as good on a given day, and they just kind of keep going, and then it becomes a state of being, like an attitude, a mood. It's very interesting when you deal with this sort of consciousness, which I want to show you something kind of cool. I'm doing a next Thursday. We're off because I'll be doing a live event again.
Okay.
But before that, I have a hypothesis I want to share. Well, first, there's been some really cool things in quantum mechanics and consciousness. Turns out that every neuron, we have them in our brain, lots of them, our heart and our gut, has something in it. It's a microtubule protein. We don't need to get technical with the details, but you can Google it anywhere, that transmits quantum energy. And they didn't know that there's a thing in the brain and our neurons that can actually do that. So turns out quantum energy, God energy, Christ consciousness, that non-physical energy we talk about, it's being received and transmitted through our neurons, well, since we've been human. And now it's like, that's why prayer works. That's why entanglement works. And I've created a sort of a cool way to almost like visualize it. But basically, science and spirituality are now merging. Now there's some science to it. So let's say way up at the top, there's God, source, universe. And if you're like I think I've spent a fair amount of time in the achiever state. But then there's the wisher, the seeker, the one who knows that they're more than their physical body. They know that they have a soul or a spirit or a consciousness, but they're always seeking and searching, looking for the next great teacher, great course, great YouTube video that's going to show them the way. And so they're always wishing that all the stuff they knew was applied to their life, and they're seeking for the right way to do it, but they're not really moving anywhere. So here's my hypothesis. There is the source consciousness, and here's the matrix, the grid. These are our subconscious programs, is the collective consciousness. And I mean, really, there's grid after grid after grid that our beam of light has to get through. But let's just keep it simple. Let's say that this guy, he's a wisher, he's a seeker. He's not really doing the action yet. He's just kind of just wishing and hoping. But he also has a bunch of money issues. So he's on this square right here. Whoops, not that one. This one. But there's another guy. I'll see achiever there. There's another guy that's in this grid because he does believe money's coming. So he has money. Good job. But he just doesn't have that consciousness connection. What this means is our brains don't create consciousness. Consciousness is outside of us. And our brains are receivers for it, plus transmitters. You and I have talked about this, but just didn't have the technical science. But also receivers saying, this is the line of consciousness I'm lining up with. So everyone that's feeling like a victim and perpetrator, by the way, are same energetic state. They only have access to that stream of consciousness. Now, you and I think for most of our life, we have been achievers. Do, get it done, get it done, get it done. Something needs to get done, let's get it done. Do. I know I have. But that's how you get wealthy. The champion is the achiever awakened, where they're like going to do stuff, but they're going to be and align first with Christ consciousness, quantum consciousness, source consciousness, what have you. So there's states of being, depending on your state of being, completely determines what stream of consciousness you're basically streaming. So to me, this is super exciting. And
I see it. I see where you're going here. And yeah, I have a
Well, we've got 3 viewers today. So if any of our viewers want to introduce yourself in the chat, say hi. That'd be great. If you have any questions about this, love it. This is the first time I showed this to you. In fact, I have a feeling that there's going to be lots of YouTube videos popping up about it, and there's going to be lots of stuff in the days and months to come. But it's the same thing we've always said, Josh. The way we're thinking, what we're directing our attention to, what we're aware of, we're going to get more of that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. So, yeah, it's the first time I'm seeing this, so I'm just trying to process it.
Yeah, man.
I think the warrior button, though, could almost go in between every one of those. Almost.
You know, that's the thing is you're right, because sometimes, hey, Daniel, hey, Brian, sometimes we have to go into warrior mode to just get back into achiever mode. We have to go to warrior mode for a while because warrior's always battling. There's always a fight. There's always a problem to solve. They're always in fight or flight. They're always just like ready for the next battle, and they eventually get exhausted. But I 100% agree. I'd say that warrior, I would agree with that 1,000%. Warrior, we have to shift into warrior state lots. Like,
I mean, in order to achieve the next level, you're going to have to dig in and say, I'm not satisfied here. You're going to have to go to that next mode. You're going to have to be that warrior. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're just settling for where you're at. Before you can, okay, great, you're an achiever. You achieved. Now you want to be a champion. So you're going to have to fight to get there. And then once you get there and then you're a champion, you've accomplished all you want to do. And so now you're going to become a creator and you're going to become a light sharer. In order to do that, you're going to have to achieve everything that's behind you, and you're going to have to fight for that so that you can share the light, and you have the means and the access to fucking do that.
Dude, I 100% agree. There's always, whenever we level up our state of consciousness, our state of beingness, we level up our light, there's always going to be something that punches us in the mouth and says, the contrast experience is inevitable. And I agree with you 100%. The warrior could actually go in between all of that. We just don't want to dip all the way down to victim or emptiness or the wisher seeker again.
Well, even if you're empty and you were a victim, you're going to have to fight to come out of it, and I would call you a warrior if you do that. If you're all the way at the bottom and you're a nothing and you fight your way out of that, and all you ever get is to the achiever mode, I would say you achieve something. So if you've done that and you've made it out, then man, you can be a champion, and you are a creator. So that's all I got with that. I don't think it's so cut and dry, and then while you're in those modes in between, there's so much more, but it's the same. It's the same on no matter what step you're in. This can apply to go to the next level, and then it's the same sequence and it's going to go to the next level, and you're just going to kind of repeat this thing over and over and over again.
100% agree. Here's how you know if you're an achiever. You have a house, you have all the material things you ever wanted, you have a well-paying job, your own business, you have money coming in, everyone around you says, oh, you're so successful, awesome. But there's this feeling of, especially if you're in your 50s, late 40s, there's this feeling of disconnection and unfulfillment, especially if you don't feel real close to your family, or especially if you feel like you're doing a job that doesn't really make a positive impact. That's why the midlife crisis happens with so many people, because they don't love what they don't get up every day like it's a vacation. They're just working every day so they can have the achievement and the financial means, but they don't have that feeling of, oh my gosh, I love my life. I created a life I love. And that's when people have the dark night of the soul, the spiritual awakenings, the coming to God moments.
Okay, great. That goes exactly what I'm saying. So then what happens? Now they're feeling
has
empty.
To come out.
Hold on. Now they're feeling empty and they're a victim. And now they're wishing they had something more. And so they have to be a warrior to become an achiever so that they can finally become the champion within. And then usually they'll become a teacher, a creator to share their light.
Yes. And the higher you go up in the vibrational frequency, the more you expand your consciousness, the more impact you have around others, the more people just like being around you because of your vibration. Like 100% integrity down here, guilt, apathy, revenge, anger, boredom, fear. I mean, it's all the stuff that you already know.
Yeah. So did you hear the thing about the mosquitoes?
No.
I read something about mosquitoes.
Are those little fudgers sucking blood again? Just kidding.
Man, we got them. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, yeah. anyways, they said that mosquitoes can feel vibration and they can actually read the light. I just read something about it. Don't quote me on it. They can read your aurora. And if you have a strong aurora, you can actually attract mosquitoes.
Dude, the aura is the level of consciousness.
Right. So if you're getting eat up by mosquitoes, that kind of sucks. But you also should be maybe a little bit proud of it that they're picking you and nobody else.
Interesting. They only pick the more positive vibrations.
Yeah, or at least it draws them to you. You know,
makes sense because you'd be more magnetic.
I don't know if it's true or not. I just read something about it, but yeah. So it goes to everything, and yeah, it's the light that you put off, and I like your map. Your map is really good.
Thanks, man.
It's really close. It's right there. And I think you can put that into perspective on any aspect of your life. You could be a 15-year-old kid feeling empty and then need to move on, or you can be a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old going through midlife crisis, and that's repeat the same processes that produce a positive effect.
Exactly. And what I want to do is I'm making this mostly for kids, man. For when I say kids, I mean fresh adults that are over the age of 7, maybe under, but let them know that, hey, this is just an energetic state you're in. You can shift it. And for each one, like 1 or 2 simple to take actions to shift out of that level into the next level. That way they can, because when our level of consciousness is higher, we have access to a whole different stream of information and energy. And we're basically streaming the same information as everybody else in that field. So you'd rather hang out and get the same information energy as high achievers or people that are going for it, or at least people that are fighting the good fight, as opposed to people that are always complaining or life gave me a raw deal. And it makes so much sense to me. But my hope is that I can give people action steps so they can take them. And because it's an action program, like life's an action. It's an action game.
Yeah. You got to be present to win. That's for sure. So, and I mean that physically and also mentally. And if you bring your best mentally and you prepare mentally, then you're going to be a lot closer to where you want to be. You know what I mean?
Totally. Can you see Ryan's comment? My achiever status experience was that exactly. So
what was it, Ryan? What was your achiever experience, and where are you going, or where would you like to go? If he'd like to respond, he doesn't have to, but
Ryan could come on live. Ryan is the newest champion to join my League of Champions, and he is going to be amazing. However, Elizabeth, who's amazing, dropped out of the League of Champions. Right. And I take part of the responsibility because there was a matter of perspective difference. And let's just say we had completely different perspectives. And
that's all right. All right, Ryan. House, job, family. Yeah, achiever.
Okay, I'm gonna Ryan, do you want to come on live? I'm gonna message you in school because I know by watching you in action over the last few weeks that you are definitely moving out of that status. Boom. There you go. All right, Ryan's coming on live. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today, conscious guide, writer, speaker, future TEDx Talk host and presenter, Ryan Dalton. I messaged you in school, so you should be able to get that. And if anybody else wants to be a live guest because you have some things to share, we definitely love to have authentic.
Oh, bro, we ought to do one of those where you get all the little squares up there and everybody can talk, like raise your hand thing. We ought to do that.
We're gonna need to get more than 3 viewers. Tell your friends about us.
Yeah.
Here comes Ryan. Super cool dude, Ryan. Ryan, welcome to the Purpose Agenda.
Hey guys.
Tell us, what was the difference between being in the achiever state of being and being where you are now?
There we go. Sorry, I had double video and the stream going. So can you repeat that?
What's the difference in your state of mind, your energy, your vibration, your general day-to-day presence from when you were in the achiever state, to where you are now, which I would say is champion creator state? What have you noticed?
Yeah, I think the source connection, quantum consciousness, all the stuff you're talking about, I think that that's the biggest difference. I've really felt a difference in the feeling of why I'm doing what I'm doing, and just that energetic feeling within is different.
Did you find yourself sort of seeking ways to get from the achiever state to the champion state to the creator state?
Do you mean now or before?
Before, when you realized, hey, is this it?
I don't think I even was aware, really, of the different states. I think that for me, I just was like, I did all the things that people told me to do to be happy. So I went to school, I got a good job, I have a house, and I just was like, is this it? Like, what am I supposed to do next? And so I had to figure that out for myself. And I think that intuitively, even though I didn't realize where it was coming from, that being from source, I knew that becoming a creator was a way that it kind of discovered by accident. But the first thing is it pulled me out of depression. I was in a very low vibrational state. I was down in like empty victim, and creating pulled me into that much higher state. And it was like I was happy and I was motivated. But then I started learning about all this other stuff, which you've already been talking about. And that really kind of, blew my mind at the time.
Now that you're in creator mode, do you find yourself going head to head against like self-doubt, imposter syndrome, wondering if people will like it or not?
Not as much. Sometimes I think that we have our subconscious programming, and that can pull us back down into the lower states. But I do feel like it does not happen as often, especially when you have that feeling, when you have that presence and awareness going on.
So, hey, Ryan, I got a question for you. What do you believe your subconscious programming, or what you're like, oh, we all have what do you think that is? Because do you think mine's the same as yours, or you think it's just something that it's given to us in the universe?
I think, yes, I think the answer to that is it's different for everybody. I think that it's like you've said before, Dr. Tom, you plan out your life and you pick your traumas and you pick your subconscious programming and the things that you're going to have to deal with and overcome. And I think that our subconscious programming, it comes from the things we're told as children from our parents, the things we learn from, aunts, uncles, society, people in our neighborhoods, communities, just kind of these false beliefs that we get imposed on us. I think a big one that a lot of people have is that you need to play it safe and you need to put your dreams to the side. And that's what I did. I had all these dreams that I'd kind of forgotten about, and I thought they just died. But I think that part of my own kind of awakening experiences, those dreams came back. They came back to life. And I realized that, my purpose was to go after them.
So do you believe that you can now change those subconscious programs?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that it's a two-part effort. I think that there is your conscious, awake effort to do so. I think that's you practicing mindfulness, awareness, telling yourself, believing in yourself. And then I think there's a subconscious component that There's different ways to do this, but you can do it through meditation. You can do it through hypnosis. I do sleep hypnosis. So those have been, the two kind of ways I see. And then I know Tom stepped away for a moment, but he's kind of been explaining this process where you basically just take several breaths and you make a decision and set an intention. And it's like you're able to shift into that state that you need to.
Yeah. So have you ever drove overseas very much?
I've been overseas, a few times. I was in the military way back when. So I've been
All
overseas.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where were you at?
So with the military, I was more stateside, but they sent me over a couple of times to do like some training. So I went to like Latvia, and then this wasn't in the military, but before, this is even further back. I did a religious mission, and I was in Russia for a while doing that. So
Okay, cool. I've never been to Latvia or Russia, but you ever been to one of those places where they drive on the wrong side of the freaking road?
no, I haven't. I haven't been to England. No.
Well, Jamaica, I don't know. Anyways, there's several places where they drive on the wrong side of the road, and it's really easy. Is where I'm getting at. It's kind of not that difficult to drive on the left-hand side of the road when you're thinking about it. It's like, okay, I've got this. I can drive on this side until you turn at the stoplight or the stop sign, and then you turn right into oncoming traffic. So as long as you're conscious of doing something that you're trying to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then your subconscious takes over, right? And so it's a constant battle until you really, really get used to it. And you're gonna do it. Like you go to some place where they drive on the wrong side, and you're like, oh my God, I almost caused a wreck, And so it's that way. So it's not one thing we can just do overnight. It's a constant effort of doing it over and over, even when you screw up and you swerve back into the right lane or to the left lane, and make it to go into the right direction.
Yeah, I totally feel that. I've got a couple of subconscious beliefs that I am trying for the life of me to fix it, and they'll just show up. They're still here with you.
So as long as you're thinking about, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this, and then you're at the stop sign, and you're like, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it, and then you turn, and you're like, oh my God, there's a car right there, and the horns are blasting and going off, right? Yeah. So, anyways, just be aware of things like that. I do it all the time too. It's the same thing. Yeah,
for sure.
I was eavesdropping and listening as I took care of my very loving, energetic, and sometimes high maintenance dog. So thank you for your patience. Two things I heard, and you asked a really good question, Josh, like the subconscious programs. I do believe we all have our own, and the biggest one I see is money. You have to work really hard to make money. There's never enough money. I think that's a big one that people have, and sometimes it's passed on from generation to generation. But you also talked about going overseas and other places. So there's many grids. Depending on where you're at, there's a grid for that place. So that every place has its own grid of consciousness, of filters it's going through, that you just have to be aware of. Our own personal grid is the one that matters the most. But if you shift environments, or you're around a bunch of people that are high vibe, very positive, very authentic, as opposed to people that are just complaining, lying, cheating, stealing, that's going to change the collective energy in that environment. So there's many grids. It's not just that one grid. So just everybody keep in mind that energy is very universal, and it always follows rules. It always follows laws. But the grids or the matrix that any environment can have will be different. Like Arkansas has a different grid of consciousness than California.
Oh yeah, that's true, 100%.
And I bet are you in Denver, Ryan?
I'm in Salt Lake City, actually, Utah.
Utah, I bet has a different one than both of us.
Oh yeah.
but it doesn't mean it's bad or good. It just means different.
Yeah.
And you will, sometimes you can feel the air is different when you go to a place. Because that's our physical connection with consciousness is air that we breathe.
You know, you can feel when the air is different when it's about to rain. I mean, think about that. You know, or and then let's go a little deeper and like, where are these old sayings coming from? You know, winds out of the east ain't fit for man to rest. It's about to storm. It's not going to be good. Red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky in the morning's a sailor's warning. There's warning signs that nature and that things will put out in front of us if we're willing to see them. But we got to be conscious enough to pay attention. If I got a big old heavy coat on, I'm not going to realize the wind changed. If I'm sitting in my glass house and I'm too afraid to step outside of it, I don't know which way the wind's blowing. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I think I've heard those sayings before, but probably not as often as you. Like I couldn't recite them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're universal truths. You know, I mean, it just happens. I mean, you know, how to find the North Star. Like, I mean, the North Star is there, right? Why is it there? Why do we? That's the way that you to go. That's the way to follow your direction. You know, and that's nature. That's part of us. It's if we believe in our subconscious and where we're going and who we are and all of that, then we definitely then have to believe in the signs that the Creator gave us, and then be conscious enough and be aware enough to see those so that we can be guided along the right path.
I 100% agree that the North Star, the weather, the trees, like everything is a macro, the micro, or micro, the macro. Like they're fractals. Like the same network of a tree is the same as a brain neuron, the same as a human body, same as the universe.
I don't have to understand it to either one, know it works, or at least believe it works. As long as I believe the North Star is pointing north, then I know which way I'm freaking going, right?
100%. You don't have to be an electrician and understand hertz and megawatts and circuit breakers to flip the switch on.
But if I stick a fork into the light socket, it's going to hurt. That doesn't make me an electrician.
No, but you can flip that switch on and enjoy electricity. All right, Ryan, you are boldly going where many creators think of going, and that's launching a business where you impact others. What thoughts do you have about how that's going to look and how that will be monetized? I think Josh will have some opinions about that will be different than the ones I would give you. And this, if you have any ideas of what you want your business to do, Josh will get that business brain of his thinking, and I bet you he'll have some ideas. I can tell you when he'll say, and he's right. Network, get out there in your community, do stuff in your community.
Yeah, definitely. So I've already told you about a few different parts of I do want it to be centered around things that naturally come to me as strengths. And so things that I consider myself to be good at. I do enjoy writing. I feel like I'm all right at writing. I do music. I would like there to be some involvement with music. I play the piano. I'd like it to be creativity focused so I can embody the role of creator. I find that there's a lot of purpose for me there. And I'm grateful thinking about it that I don't necessarily have to have everything laid out to proceed. I think that if it were that way, I don't think I'd ever be able to, because I feel like nothing's ever quite ready. You just move forward in the way it appears.
Okay. You've kind of quit, and so I'll quit taking notes. But how are you going to make money doing this?
Yeah,
because I don't even know what you're going to do yet.
Yeah, I need to create some products of value that are worth it to people, that actually help people. And so
what kind of products are you thinking about?
Well, obviously, music is one of them. If they're going to consume the music, they could consume it through streaming or by buying it. I also have thought about doing some kind of lesson, some learning type products, either through like documents or courses, and then offering potentially some one-on-one type coaching to help people tap into creativity, kind of harness their creativity.
Are you a computer guy at all?
Yeah. In fact, that's my whole do the things everybody told you is going to make you happy was I did.
That's how he makes money now, right?
Computers and IT. Yeah. I work in IT, do computer stuff. I've got actually a bachelor's degrees in cybersecurity, and then I've got a master's in software development. So
okay. You know what I think would probably be awesome for you to advertise in then is why don't you figure out some music AI programs that, and what's that word I'm looking for? How do you you talk to it? It's your prompting to an AI, really good AI engine, and then make the music you want, and then add words to your music with a good prompting, and then also you can probably get a whole friggin' program in there or lesson plan. You see what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to save you your workload, but I think that's probably maybe where it's at, but I don't think that's where you want to go. I'm just looking at your face.
Yeah, AI is such a funny thing. I think AI is a great tool, but like for me, I really a value to me is to really stress the importance of like the power of creativity through the human method, and until we know that AI is channeling the same source consciousness. I mean, I think that in a sense that it kind of is because everything is source, but I really think it's important that we as humans in this human experience learn to tap into that creator mode. And I think AI is a good tool to help you with that, but I don't want to make it replace that spark of an idea that comes to you in the right moment.
You know what? 100%. You're in a great little dive bar and you're playing the piano and everybody's singing around it and the piano's off tune, and that's the best time of your life. I've got one of those in DC and we were buying Ice House beers for $1 a piece and just karaoke. It was great. I agree with you. That's not where I was going at.
Yeah. You're talking about a dream of mine, by the way. I would love to play in a piano bar and have people singing around me. That's something I've never done, but
well, you just said it. You just said it out to whoever's watching this replay in there. So I see no reason why that can't actually manifest. I don't know if you see Hypnosis Department, which I have a sneaky feeling is our girl Janice Love.
Hey,
products of value. Ryan, music is a universal language. It may be your music itself. It may be your music itself is a connection. Say, speaking of music, having. I love the way it feels just to say that and to feel the vibration of it. So, and if you told me I would ever chat or hum out loud, I would say, no, my voice is terrible, but it feels so good to make a vibration with our own voice. And I bet it feels great to have a vibration of your voice plus an instrument. Imagine this. Go ahead.
I got something, Ryan. All right. So you gave me kind of a thing. I asked about money. How you going to make money? You said, I want to create. I want to do all these things. That's fine.
Yeah.
So what do you want in life? Do you want to make money? Do if you could just play piano in front of a bunch of people and be happy with not making any money, but living, in the subway in New York City and getting quarters, would that make you happy? Like, what do you want?
I think I want to have a pretty, modest to more than modest means of life too. So yeah, I don't think I'd be very happy if I was, in the subway.
Right.
Even if I got to play the piano for others. I think in the, the ideal, my future self version of me, I envision that I have a pretty, pretty good lifestyle and income from multiple sources. And what I really want is for me to be able to make it so the work doesn't feel like work. Make it so that work's something I actively enjoy doing, so that I know I'm helping people. I know I'm using my own unique gifts to help other people. That's what I want.
Okay. So what would your realistically, how do you think you could achieve that?
I'm gonna
No bullshit answer. How would you like to achieve that? But really, like truly, like with consequences and things and hardship, how would you like to achieve that?
So I don't believe this is a bullshit answer, but
Okay.
it is a very. I'm going to borrow from Dr. Tom here and say I'm going to do that by embodying my true self and
Okay.
by acting upon creative inspiration.
Awesome.
I have two things that came up. One, you know how many IT guys out there that are making a living that have a musical ambition, that have a dream to create and express? You create a product now of maybe they give you what's going on in their life. You write a song that lifts their spirits and they have their own song and you start collecting money for that. But you create a course, how to go from your IT job to making money with music and you document everything you're doing along this journey, because there's so many people that have this same ambition as you to get out of IT and get into something that lights them up, but they're scared to death to do it. And I know with you, it's like, whatever you put out there, I have the sense that you, more than anything, wanted to help others feel good.
Yeah, I do.
I got a recommendation. Go to church on Sunday and play the piano for him.
Go to where?
Church on Sunday, or go to the bar on Saturday. I don't care, but just volunteer to play the piano.
Yeah,
just keep doing what you're doing, and then it'll come to you. Because I think you're so far, you don't even know where you want to go.
I appreciate that. Well, I think thanks for the input. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable singing in front of people?
I got to work on that. It's still something.
Well, Tom's got a song for you.
I love money and money loves me. I love people and people love me. I love life and life loves me. Yes, sirree.
You knew what I was talking about. That's funny. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. I feel like music is so universal and it can be approached in so many different ways that experiment and fail. But I mean, you're writing a song now. You're creating something now. You're getting on the piano and making something now. How's that going?
It's going well. I've only been on it for like all of one day. But something came together like it's never come together before for me. I had chords, I had lyrics, and I'm not finished with it yet. It's going to take some refinement, but it's all heart directed as I feel inspired to. And so,
dude, you're bringing something forward that didn't exist before.
Yeah.
You are writing something and creating something from your heart, brain, and soul. This is the magic that makes the world an awesome place to be.
Yeah.
But I know what Josh is thinking. How are you going to make money with it? If it's coming from your true self and you are giving it the attention. And here's the thing. You don't think here's how the energy systems work. Anyone that's watching this, you don't think I'm doing this to make money. You start with how you want your life to look and feel. And maybe not everyone wants to be rich and wealthy, but no one wants to have money stress. No one wants to worry about money. So starting from how you want your life to feel and look, what kind of house, what kind of income, what kind of time freedom, and then build a business based on that, as opposed to.
I got something, Tom. I think that design your thought process on how you want your life to be, and then actually that will make the house, the car, the whatever, the hours you spend, but as long as you're happy, that's where I do in my head. It's not like showing out what other people have. I design the life that I want. So if you's happy, playing piano in the subway, then good for you. Then you've achieved it and you've got exactly what you want. If you want something different, you need something more, then great. You can change your mind and say, I want to do something else. You know, so I don't think it's about the house or the car or the paycheck or anything. I think it's about how you feel when you lay your head down, when you wake up in the morning.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, and that's
And then those things will come. All the other stuff will just come with it. The clothes you wear, the purse you carry, or whatever, all that'll come with it.
Because if you feel like crap, like a victim or empty, you're going to have such a low stream of consciousness to create from and provide from that. Yeah, feeling good that's all the spiritual teachings, all the metaphysics, all of the quantum science. Feel good, feel
That's
good,
all the
feel
drugs.
joy, feel love.
That's all the drugs. You can be a shitbag piece of shit, but you take enough drugs, they'll make you feel better for a minute. But then you need more drugs to make you feel good again.
Or you could be someone that believes so fully that what they're doing is good and right, and they believe it so much that they feel good, even though the rest of the world thinks that they're messing things up. And I'm not going to say any presidents or anything like that, but I'm sure there's political people that have that, where they think that what they're doing, they believe in what they're doing. They believe it's
good. I don't care about that. I'm talking about yourself. You figure out where you want to be, and that's exactly where the world, the subconscious, where the universe will put you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the stream of consciousness you're lining up with. Neville Goddard.
There. Yeah.
Start with the feeling of the
you gotta
desire
believe where you want to be, and then if you're happy there, then you can maybe move on. But I think you got to strive for that higher one first, and the world will always put you right where it needs to put you. We ain't got no say so in that, except for where we're gonna think about and how we're gonna put it. I guess that's what I was trying to get at earlier. But yeah.
So for you and for anyone else that's leveling up to the creator level state of being, create, share, repeat. Create, share, repeat. There's no room for perfectionism. There's no room for making it just perfect so people will like it. It's like, if you like the way you feel when you create it and what you've created, if it feels good to you, share it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like it, then all you have to do is change your mind, and then the universe will put where you want to be right there. If you keep believing that you're in a shit spot, then you're going to stay in a shit spot, you know? But if no, you need to go somewhere else, you need to level up, then the universe will bring that to you, and it'll get you to the spot where you're saying, hey, I'm good to go. I don't know if that makes any weird ass hillbilly sense, but that's how I believe.
Well, it's a stream of consciousness. It's there. It's already there. Like the ideal product and way to help others and the ideal way to make money from it, it already exists. It's just directing, becoming aware and observing this, and then directing your attention to the act of creating. And through the creating, that's when the opportunities start popping up. That's when new avenues pop up. Because maybe maybe it won't even be a course. Maybe it won't even be coaching. Maybe it's a completely different thing that no one's done yet. But it's only through being in that stream of consciousness where you have that energy popping through, information, inspiration, ideas. You're like, and then being brave enough to go forward with it.
Because if you can think it, then you can achieve it. I know we've all heard that. It's stupid. But if you have the thought process to start with, you wouldn't have never thought about it if you couldn't achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the observer effect 101. I mean, that's basically the observer effect. If you can observe it and think about it, it already exists in the field.
Yeah. You know, so wherever somebody wants to be, I'm not here to tell anybody to do what they want to do. I'm proud for everybody. As long as you're happy doing it. But if you think you can do more, then go do it. And I think anybody can do that.
I will say this. If you are going through what lights you up and you are pursuing the fulfillment of your desire, success is inevitable unless you quit. It's the law. It's just sometimes people quit because the 3D physical world evidence doesn't support it right away. And there'll be doubters. There'll be people saying, oh, man, this isn't working. But if you are feeling it and you keep feeling it and you keep realigning with the feeling of the desire fulfilled, and you knowing that you're going into what you feel called to, inevitably success happens. It just won't happen at all the way you think it's going to. That's what
But
I
let's
learned.
not forget about having the consciousness to know that when you're going in a wrong direction.
Yeah,
You
it feels
know,
like
like
shit.
when the hairs stand up on the back of your head, like, you know, something wrong. Like, you know, don't get so blindsided. Like, oh, I believe I'm gonna be a billionaire. Well, everybody ain't gonna be a billionaire. You know, so you know, just have the consciousness of. I'm not saying that you couldn't be, or I can't be, or Tom can't be. I'm just saying, just if we're going in the wrong direction, say, oh, I need to chill out, or maybe it's just not good for my psyche. Maybe it's I can make $1 billion doing this, but man, what would it achieve in the subconscious in the world? What would the effects be for it? You know, like, is that worth it? You know, there are times when we need to take a step back and look at that and make sure that we're following in the right way, and then we'll probably be blessed on the other end. You know what I mean?
A good rule, man, I agree with Josh. If it doesn't feel good, it's out of alignment. I mean, if it feels hard and uncertain, that's different. That's when you go into warrior mode and get through it. But if it just doesn't feel good thinking about it, doesn't feel good doing it, then that's the universe saying, hey, you're out of alignment. Let's get you back to your purpose beam. And it will give you nudges until you don't listen to the nudges. Then it'll give you shoves until you don't listen to that. And then
It will realign your ass real fucking fast.
knock you. Yeah. Well, Ryan, man, thanks for coming on and getting right on the hot seat. Josh, yeah. But any questions for me, for Josh, for
I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm just curious to know how you two met. You just seem like an unlikely duo to me, but you seem like you're on the same channel, you know?
That's the funny part.
Tell the story, Josh.
You want me to tell a story this time?
I do.
So I had a good friend of mine. He invited me to go to a what would you call that kind of meeting without saying the names?
It was David Bear's Powerful Learning Experience. It was a gathering of spiritual entrepreneurs ready to have a powerful living experience. It was a self-development creation, Tony Robbins type event.
Cool. Okay.
With a business accent.
Yeah. So me and my buddy, we flew down there, and
let me interrupt you. When he says flew, he means they actually flew the plane. They're pilots, both of them.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't have nothing to do that weekend. So I just flew down there. I didn't even have a room to stay in. And then me and Tom ended up being roommates.
Okay.
And then we bullshitted till 4 in the fucking morning and talking about all this stuff. And we realized that, man, we're totally separate worlds apart. And we were speaking the same thing in two different kind of tongues, you know? And yeah, had a good weekend, and then that was the night that we decided we were going to start doing this.
Josh pops out. We get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. He goes, "Hey, isn't the third eye most active between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m.?" Because both of us were awake, and I said, "Yeah, that's true." And he goes, "We just got up and started talking." Around 6 a.m., he goes, "We should do a podcast." Nice. And we've done it ever since. For like how many months now?
6 months. And I said it shouldn't be scripted, because everybody does a script. It shouldn't be pre-recorded, and it's not. And we're late sometimes, and we don't always show up, or I got to feed pigs or goats or cows or whatever. And yeah, and we're running businesses. So, but we're doing our best, and it's just what it is. And I don't care, because I enjoy to be able to talk like this, because I've never found a place that you could talk about metaphysics I didn't even know that word. Fuck all that stuff. But where you could talk about, why do I think these things can happen? You know, if I believe it, I can achieve it. No, you better work for it, boy. You know, yeah, we're different. But the truth is, I can talk to Tom, and then Tom says all these big words and all that, and then I just kind of just live it every day, and I've done that for a long time, you know. So he learned it through the books and stuff, and I'm not quite sure where I learned it from, but I do believe in the same things.
Awesome.
That was the thing as we were talking, and you know what? We're from different worlds, different accents, different religious affiliations, political affiliations. We listen to different podcasts, but we saw the goodness and the consciousness of people as the same thing. And the more we talk, the more we're actually talking about the same exact thing, just using different words. So it's fun to get a different perspective. And it's also fun to get different money-making business things from Josh's perspective, because it's different than mine. I mean, Josh created a pig farm since I've known him. I mean, he created a pig pen and he created a pig business, guys. It's like, okay.
Well, I did that just to piss off my neighbors, but yeah, I've also created a whole nother fucking company and we're another corporation that we haven't talked about. But yes, yeah,
Very cool.
That was a great question.
That was, but that's the truth.
Yeah, and we don't talk during the week. We don't plan this out. Josh came up with the name Purpose Agenda. I liked it, and there's nothing's off limits to talk about. We just try to keep it. We try not to like dive into political rabbit holes, but we do talk about religion, metaphysics, consciousness, lots of consciousness, lots of purpose stuff. And we both agree that the number one purpose is to be happy with the life you're living.
Yep.
To love your life you're living.
And I think if more people would do that, then they would probably align a whole lot more with whatever my politics are. You brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's to me, the politics, I don't give it much attention, and it doesn't give me much attention. I'd rather focus on energy and things that I can directly control in my own life, and maybe even help other people realize, hey, what are you focusing on right now? How do you desire to feel today? Like decide to feel that way. And what do you say, Josh? There's a really easy, catchy saying that I think is 100% true. I'm getting better every day in every way.
I'm getting better every day in every way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
I mean,
I'm getting better every day in every way. Yeah. When you're mad, you're upset. I'm getting better every day in every way. I'm getting better every day. Like, it's just one of those that, yeah, or I'm getting better and better every day in every way. Yeah.
Yep. That's a much better thought than life sucks. I'm getting a raw deal. Why me? Yeah. I think that just being aware of what's going through our headspace and our emotional body, and deciding to take a conscious action when we realize it's low vibration, because there's so many things you can do. It's just the thing you do consistently is the thing that's going to work.
What does I got a question, and I think there's probably some kind of scientific stuff, but I would bet that low vibration is attracted to low vibration and high vibration. Yeah, so it's very easy to just, that's where you want to go to. So if it's hard, you're not going to go there. You're not going to talk to them people. You're going to stay away from there. You're going to stay in the low. And it's harder to go to the high, just like it's harder to climb the mountain than it is to sit down in the valley. Right?
Yep. I mean, it's that's the stream of consciousness. Everyone that's in the victim state of beingness, they're streaming that same victim light, and they're transmitting it and receiving it, and that's all they'll have access to until they shift into a different state of being.
100%. So we're all going to get better. Yep. We're going to get better. Go ahead and close it up, Tom.
Thank you for your attention, Brian. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thanks, man. Nice to meet you, bro.
Yeah, nice
sharing
to meet
your
you
purpose. Josh, always thank you for your words of wisdom. Tell Ashley I said hello, and give the piggies a hug. And whatever you do, just decide how you're going to feel. Decide where your attention is going to go.
Tomorrow's going to be great. That's what I got to say.
All right. Peace out. Lots of love, lots of light, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Yeah. I love you.
Love you guys. Talk to you later.
You guys.
Out.